Okay, we're going to look at number 32 here, so let's focus in on number 32 here. And remember, the last one we did, we're trying to find the zeros. The zeros are where it crosses the x-axis or are the x-intercepts. Last one did not cross, so it didn't have any zeros. Let's look at this one. So we're going to do x equals negative b over 2a. My b is negative 2 here. So a is negative 1, b is negative 2, and c is 1. So that we know this parabola with a being negative 1 is going to be a parabola that opens down. But let's do x equals negative b over 2a. Opposite of b, well, b is negative 2, so I want positive 2 all over 2 times negative 1. Well, that's negative 2. 2 divided by negative 2. If I said what's the equation for the axis of symmetry, it's x equals negative 1. So if I draw my axis of symmetry, it would be right here at x equals negative 1. If I'm going to make a table, we know negative 1 has to go in the middle because that's going to be my vertex point. To find the y value of that, I plug it in. So I really want to plug in negative 1 for x. Now be very careful here. This means negative 1 times x squared at the beginning here. Okay, so I'm going to have negative 1 times negative 1 squared minus 2 times negative 1 plus 1. If I do this, this part right here is 1. Negative 1 times 1 will be negative 1. And then it's minus a negative 2 plus 1. Well, this is going to turn into plus 2. So negative 1 plus 2 is 1. 1 plus 1 would equal 2. So at negative 1, we are at 2. So at negative 1, I am right there. Okay, so negative 1, 2. And then I'm going to try a couple values like negative 2 and negative 3. And I'm going to try a couple values bigger, which is 0 and 1. Now, you can go ahead and plug them in just like I plugged in negative 1. I'm going to go ahead and fill these in for a little time's sake on the video. 0 is an easy one to plug in. We're going to get 1 because these first two terms would cancel out if you plugged in 0, which means negative 2 is going to give you 1. Okay, also, and if you plug in 1, you get negative 2. And when you plug in negative 3, you also get negative 2. So let's plot those points. At negative 2, we're at 1. Right there. At 0, we're at 1, so we're right there. At negative 3, we're at negative 2, so now we're down here. Now we're down below the x-axis. And at 1, we are also at negative 2, so we're right down here. So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger so we can focus in on this. And so if I draw this, and I'll use blue here, my vertex was right here. I'm going to come down, I got to go through that point, and then I got to go through the x-axis. That's going to go like that. And then on this side, I'm going to start at my vertex, I'm going to come down, and I got to get down to this point right here. So I'm going to come down just like, and that's not very good, but we'll use it anyway. We're going to come down like that. So now, where are my x-intercepts? Can you see they are right here between negative 2 and negative 3? And we're going to approximate that one as about a little less than negative 2.5. So I'm going to say about negative 2.4. And the other one, I didn't draw this very accurately, but if we had this going just like this, it's actually going to be a little bit less than a half. So we're going to approximate this one over here at about 0.4, a little less than a half. So if I said, what are my zeros? You're going to list them. And when you're approximating, I would use your approximate symbol. So my zeros are about negative 2.4 and about 0.4.